So what's it like to eat at Zippy's for free for a year? Well, it's pretty good, but I want to talk about more than just the owner food that we locals love to eat there. I want to share my appreciation of Zippy's, how I got involved in the ZIPPY'S Ambassador program, and some of the memories I've been able to share with my family and friends at Zippy's over the past year. It's also my 4-year anniversary of making YouTube videos about Hawaii on this YouTube channel, a big accomplishment. And each year I try to make a video with advice for Hawaii content creators. And this year, I want to share my thoughts on working with local brands for people who are interested in how that kind of works. But that will be at the end of the video. Zippy's didn't ask me to make this video. I wanted to make it because I love Zippy's and I appreciate how much they supported me and this YouTube channel. But please, Zippy's, please bring back the pumpkin pie year-round. That's my favorite. So this all started about a year ago when I posted a video talking about 5 local brands that I would love to work with. On top of that list was Zippy's. And why? Well, there's no other local company that I would associate more with growing up and living in Hawaii than Zippy's. I mean, maybe Long's, but since they're really now CVS, it's kind of different. I mean, say what you will about the latest trendy restaurants in Hawaii that you see on social media, but at the end of the day, when regular local people speak with their wallets, I think a lot of them choose Zippy's. I mean, it's really Hawaii's comfort food. Well, shortly after that video came out, I was contacted by Zippy's and they wanted to talk. And I was thinking, did I say something wrong in that video? But they said that they just saw that video and they were interested in having me participate in a Zippy's Ambassador program with other local content creators. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I asked them why they started this ambassador program, and this is what they said. We created this program because we understand that Zippy's is a brand that puts family and community at its center. We know that everyone has their own individual experiences and memories of Zippy's, but we feel that there is not one person that is representative of the brand. This program was created because we felt that every ambassador's experience and perspective of Zippy's is unique. And I appreciate that Zippy's acknowledges the diverse yet common experiences that local people have with them. And so it makes sense to include a diverse group of content creators that reflect those similar experiences. As I continued to talk with Zippy's in that initial meeting, I was just blown away by their self-awareness as a brand. I wish I could have recorded that conversation because it was so affirming as to why I believe Zippy's is a great local brand. They know that not everything on their menu is the best of the best kind in Hawaii, the kind that make the top 5 foodies lists. But they know how important they are to Hawaii, and in turn, I think local people show support by eating there because they know how important Zippy's is to Hawaii. It's where you went as a family growing up in Hawaii. It's where you went with your friends late at night after bowling or going out, and it's that default place that you go to eat when you don't know where you want to eat. I can't tell you how many times Zippy's was our default after playing volleyball and basketball late at night. It's like, hey, you like go eat? Yeah, shoots. Where you like go eat? I don't know. Where you like go? Let's go Zippy's then. Okay then, shoot, I'll see you there. Really, how many of us have had that type of conversation late at night with our friends? Last year I posted a Zippy's video with other local content creators and it was so fun to hear what each person recommended. What other local restaurant in Hawaii can bring together such a diverse group of local people? I can't think of too many. And before I move on, I just want to acknowledge the employees who serve and prepare the food. Our go-to Zippy's now is the Makiki location, and I'm starting to become a regular. We go almost every week. And there's this employee named Joy, at least I think that's what her name is. If it is her name, it's very appropriate. She's always smiling and she's very considerate. And there was just one time when we were waiting for food and it was taking a little bit longer than I thought. And we're waiting because they're, kind of busy. And my son was having a tantrum. I was like holding him and he just was not having it. And so she saw this and she came over and offered him some donut holes to help calm him down. Of course, it never worked, but still, I appreciate the gesture and just the consideration. So I just want to acknowledge and thank all of the employees behind the scenes, behind the counter, that's working hard to get our food ready. What I think makes Zippy's special from any other restaurant in Hawaii, albeit mostly Oahu, are the memories that are associated with the food there. Psychologists call this food memories, where you can have a strong emotional reaction when you eat food that arouses deep unconscious memories. And those memories go beyond just the food itself to associations you have with long ago memories, whether it's a place or a person. And for those who grew up in Hawaii, there are a lot of memories made at Zippy's with family and friends. And so when we step into a Zippy's and we take that first bite of chicken, something activates in our minds and we take a small trip of nostalgia to an often simpler and happier time. My favorite plate lunch is Zip Pack. I love the meat and the rice, and I always eat it in the same order. Spam, fish, terry beef, and fried chicken last. I also like their salmon, and their hamburger and veggie burger are surprisingly good too. Never thought I'd eat those, but they're pretty good. And the mochi sada is my local favorite pastry. It's super underrated, and my favorite dessert of all time is the pumpkin pie, which they only now serve during Thanksgiving. They used to be year-round, but lose money. And as I eat these same things almost every single time, I'm reliving my old food memories. But now I'm also creating new ones because now I'm eating with my wife and son. And I know that years from now, when I take a bite of my fried chicken, I'll think back to those times when I was eating with my son at Zippy's. Okay, so what is it like to eat a lot of Zippy's in one year? Now, before your imagination goes wild, as with everything, it's always best to appreciate things in moderation. And I found that I usually stick to the same few items on the menu, and I'm okay with that. I'm a pretty simple eater. Sometimes I'll try the monthly specials, but for the most part, it's really hard to turn away my favorites. Instead, I found that being a part of the Ambassador program has opened me up to sharing Zippy's a lot more with others, especially my family. My oldest son loves the salmon. Now he'll have those memories of us eating together, and that further passes on this strong food memory associated with Zippy's, at least for another generation. And my wife is a lot more adventurous with food. She likes all kinds of food. So of course her favorite is the Korean chicken, but she's always willing to try different things on the menu. But for me, I like being able to share Zippy's with others whenever I can, whether it's buying pastries for the custodians or my coworkers or treating someone to lunch. I know things are getting more expensive in Hawaii, and so it's always nice to be able to treat others whenever we can. I mean, that's the Hawaii that I grew up in. It's like when you guys are going out to eat and you're about to pay, you say, no worries, I get him. And he's like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, no worries. You get him next time. It's like, that's the kind of generosity and camaraderie that I remember growing up with, and I try to do that when I can. Now, there is a limit to how much Zippy's I can eat, so please, don't ask for one free lunch every time, okay? But just being able to share Zippy's with my friends and family is nice, especially during this time. So now I want to talk about brand deals and my thoughts on that as a content creator who doesn't rely on sponsorships to pay the bills. And some of this will be related to my experience with Zippy's and other brands. I've been making videos on this channel for 4 years and videos since before 2012 on other channels. I've still yet to understand this creator economy and how it works. It's always changing, but here's my advice anyway. First thing is, you never know who is watching. When I made that video about local brands I'd like to work with a year ago, I didn't know if the brands would see it. In fact, I kind of didn't really make it for them. I just made it for myself to express that, yes, these are brands that I think are amazing. Not only did Zippy's reach out to me, but I think a couple of the other brands also reached out to me, and I was totally blown away because I'm thinking to myself, why would they reach out to me? I'm not the most popular YouTuber. I'm not trending on Instagram or TikTok, but they did watch the video and several others that I had made before that. And I was just like, wow, thanks for watching my videos. And so if as a creator, you're looking to work with local brands or just brands in general, I would say just keep creating content. Try not to worry about the brand deals and sponsorships too much. Be consistent and make sure that you have a catalog for brands to check out, because if they are interested, they can check out all your other stuff, not just like the 1 or 2 things that you posted. And just know that you're really just 1 click or view away from getting their attention. The second thing is you should love that brand, even without being sponsored. Now, this is one that even I struggle with because sometimes my imagination gets the better of me. If there's a brand that you want to work with, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you love the brand first and not the idea of being sponsored by that brand first. I can say that whether or not Zippy's reached out to me, I would still eat at Zippy's and still talk highly of them and their connection to local culture and local people. Genuine love and appreciation of the brand also makes it easy to advocate for the brand later if you do get sponsored or work with them. I don't have to fake my enthusiasm. And it's that passion and love that your audience is going to see. They can tell when you're excited about a brand, and that will get them excited about a brand. And the third and probably the most important thing, you want to try to find a brand that really gets you. This one is huge, and I don't know how to explain how important this is, because when you have free stuff and money involved, it kind of gets a little cloudy, but this one is really, really important. When I first talked with Zippy's before agreeing to join the Ambassador program, I asked why they want to work with me. You know, I was a relatively small YouTube channel, still am, and I didn't have a presence on Instagram. My videos didn't get stellar views, at least consistently, and I wasn't a Hawaii food channel. So why me? And so this is what they said. We feel your brand, especially on YouTube, is a great community resource. Similar to Zippy's, we feel that your channel tries to share the stories and perspectives of local people. Content-wise, we appreciate how your content is not just food content. Your videos are focused on the community and what it means to live in Hawaii, the good, the bad, and ugly. We feel that your channel helps to inhabit that space of being a community resource. Even as I read that now, it's like, it's really good to know that, you know, as a creator, like, I know what I'm trying to do when I make these videos, but sometimes I'm not sure if other people see that, and if they don't see that, then that's partially my responsibility, you know, as a creator towards that audience. There are trendy things that I could talk about that are really tempting to chase, but I lack the interest in talking about those things, and so I wouldn't be speaking from passion but more so obligation. It's why sometimes I talk about housing in Hawaii, and then pigeon, and then different aspects about life in Hawaii. They're all related to Hawaii and the experiences here, but they may not necessarily be about one single focus. And it's because I'm interested in those things and talking about them, and I hope that what I share is helpful to people out there, because they're not oftentimes talked about. 4 years ago, before I started this channel, I asked myself, how come no one is really talking about life in Hawaii from a local perspective? And that's the key question that I ask myself when I get distracted or discouraged. That's what is sort of my North Star. And that's what keeps me sort of centered on how come no one's talking about this from a local perspective. And so that's what I'm going to try to continue to do. Should also mention that it's not the local perspective. It is just a local perspective, or one local perspective. The fact that a local company sees what I'm trying to do and is able to look beyond the subscriber count and views is really assuring and mature. It tells me that they're not looking for a quid pro quo or a quick exchange for something in return, but more of a long-term relationship with creators. And that translates to more organic sharing and marketing for them, because these aren't one and done promotions. And to me, that's brilliant. Bold, but brilliant. I think a lot of brands don't seem to understand that. And I think their marketing departments, frankly, are wasting a lot of money, but that's totally on them. And I know that my participation in the program may end at any time, but for the present, I hope they continue the program and possibly expand it to other creators that think fit their brand and can share their stories and experiences with Zippy's. During the pandemic, to encourage vaccinations, there was a lottery for locals where one of the prizes was free Zippy's for a year. I remember that. And at the time, I thought that was the best prize of the bunch. I had a whole bunch of other prizes, but to me, that was the best one. And I kept imagining how many zip packs I'd eat each month if that was me. You know, I calculated how much it would cost and the total savings, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's the best prize. And funny how I'm able to kind of do that now to a certain extent. But instead of trying to eat as much Zippy's as I can, I've actually found it so much more rewarding to figure out ways to share it with others. We celebrated my son's birthday the other week, and I bought our office a couple of boxes of mochizadas to celebrate, because the people in my workplace are also a part of his birthday milestone, whether they realize it or not. And it's great that Zippy's can help us celebrate that event together. You know, Zippy's is more than just a restaurant that serves food, a commodity. It's embedded in Hawaii's culture and the setting of some great family experiences, as well as some late night conversations, as I'm sure people can remember. The food is what brings us together, both in close proximity as well as through shared experiences. But it's those shared experiences that bring us, I think, a lot closer together as a culture. So I really just want to share this for those who love Zippy's. Over the past year, I'm glad to have a better understanding of Zippy's as a brand, because it's one of the things I can be proud of that we have here in Hawaii, until they build one in Vegas. Lucky guys. Thanks for watching, and aloha.